Okay, hi guys, it's Jones Tours, Disneyland edition, episode, I'm losing track now, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, something like that. Well, today's edition is Downtown Disney Dining.
And we're going to base this on experiences again, aren't we? Rather than going
As
off
opposed to, like,
the quality
feeling in
of
the
food.
dark.
No, but we're not. We'll do another one where we're looking at purely food, taste, quality. This, we're going for the whole package. If you're on vacation, you're on holiday, you're going out for something to eat, and it's the whole experience package along with the food.
Not just the outright quality of the food, more the general ambiance.
Indeed.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah.
Well, darling, you are more than welcome to lead off with your number 5.
Right, well, my number 5, based on that, is Tortilla Joe's. And we have a lot of happy memories in Tortilla Joe's.
Many, many, many.
Getting in there, mainly the first time we went in, if we're honest, it was the only place we could get in without a reservation when it was cracking the flags. It was so hot we needed aircon, and we had a young child with us, about 8, 9 months old, and we needed to get inside. And that's how we ended up in there.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it, had great food, liked the atmosphere, loved the whole Mexican feel, and then I've been back many times since.
Many, many times. Yeah, fantastic place, Tortilla Joe's. It isn't my number 5, I have to say. My number 5 is the ESPN Zone. Sports bars, not that common in England.
No.
We have pubs, obviously, which have TVs, which will show games, but the concept of sitting at a bar that's got literally, 30 screens behind, massive screens, with every sport under the sun on. Just a concept doesn't exist here. Doesn't a few places in London, fair enough, but around the rest of the country, no. I know ESPN Zone is a chain and they're around all over America and all different cities, but it really is something to, it was a bit of an eye-opener. And I watched Liverpool win there, very early one morning. It was about, I think it was about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Thankfully the place was open. Drinking beer at that time, watching Liverpool win. Absolutely fantastic. So ESPN Zone for me, number 5.
They're very, very welcoming there with families, because I didn't think it would be. I thought it would be a bit of, you can't come in with your child, and you were in there one time, we were doing a bit of shopping. I went to find you and was like, can I bring my daughter in? Because that's the kind of place in England it'd be a big no-no on. And it wasn't. She was very much welcome. We went and sat up with you in the area. And I've got to say, a big novelty for Isabel and I was we went into the toilet, so as you say, restrooms, and there were TVs in there. That I have never seen before in my life, and what we said at the time was only in America. While you're in that room, you can watch sport.
Fantastic.
So no, I agree. It didn't make it to my list, but it was one of my might make it there.
Rolls on to number 4, please.
Okay, the Uva Bar for me, and again, we didn't go in this perhaps when we were there without Isabel, which would have probably been more, upscale, trendy. Yep. And for whatever reason, we didn't. We've only been in with Isabel, but equally superb. Got many a happy memory, sat outside the Uva Bar, having some delicious food.
I don't think the Uva Bar existed. I've not done the research, but I think it's a reasonably recent addition.
Is that why we didn't go there before? Maybe it is.
I don't think it was.
You've got Cattell above, and if you look down below, that's where the Uva Bar is. And we've had nice appetisers in there.
Oh, excellent.
We've had main courses in there. It's a nice place to get a drink. It's a nice place to people watch. Heat of the day sun, for us English, not for us. No aircon, you're out in the sun. We tend to want to get into that aircon. But an early evening dinner or drink, love it. Really like it there.
Yes, very good. So my number 4, it's Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen.
That's a surprise.
It's a bit left field.
It is.
We've had po' boys there. We've had a whole variety of things. I remember the po' boys, they were great. We've eaten there several times. We always tend to end up in Downtown Disney at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night when it's really busy and there's big lines and we can't get anywhere. We all get a bit grumpy. Where are we going to eat? We can't get in here, we can't get in there, because it tends to be the lack of planning on our part.
It is, to be fair.
But we just know that that's what we do, because you can always get a meal somewhere. And we've been in there, there've been 2 or 3 times and had really good food, great service. Highly recommended. Really, really nice place.
Well, in fact, we've been to New Orleans, and
if you
it
like
wasn't.
New Orleans cuisine.
I was going to say, New Orleans. We wish it was more like the Disney of New Orleans from our perception when we went. So
yeah, there's a whole series of podcasts that we need to do about our travels around America, and the one on New Orleans.
Oh dear.
My word, we could we could do about 6 weeks on the New Orleans.
I think we could. We will.
And how much we enjoyed it.
Not. Okay, my next one, my number 3.
We burgled the casinos though, which is always good. Not literally. We did it legitimately. We went in with less money, came out with more. But the story of New Orleans, oh man.
We'll
Anyway,
have to share it. Number 3, Cattell for me. Always like Cattell.
Just checking it. She's not running a temperature. No, this is legitimate.
I always like Cattell. There's the famous story when we went to Cattell and he just ordered a Caesar salad in one of the many places. I was like, why have you just ordered a Caesar salad? We're in Cattell. No, I really like Cattell. I like the food, I like the service, I like sitting out on the balcony. I enjoyed, I've had some really delicious fish there, meats, chicken, the good vegetables, lovely desserts, lovely appetisers. No, Cattell for me, I like it.
Yeah, Cattell, I think it's a fantastic place. Really, really, really good. The food, I think of all the restaurants in downtown Disney, Cattell has the highest standard of food.
I think it stands out.
It also has the highest prices, I think, in fairness. But I think the quality of the food is excellent, absolutely excellent. Whereas your rainforest cafes will give you a generic burger and a generic plate of chicken or whatever. Cattell always steps above and does the soups, the steaks, the individual. To be
fair, the Caesar salad was excellent.
Caesar salad was excellent, but the attention to detail in the food is absolutely excellent, and highly recommend.
You get bread served, you get your bread and butter at the start, you get your water as a matter of course, your wine's good. No, it's good. I like it. What about yourself
fantastic. Then? So are we? Number 3
was 3 for me.
It's 3 for you. Well, 3 for me is Naples.
Because
I really like the pizzas. We've spent many happy hour watching the guys flipping the dough in the what's it called, a theatre kitchen effectively. So you can see open kitchen. You can see how it's all made. It's all made fresh, all beautiful.
So they're serving the beer cans there, or beans cans, vegetable cans to raise things up when you order your pizza.
The thing goes up. Yeah, great range of drinks, great food. Really liked it. Italian food done properly. Last time we went, we had a huge pizza, about 18, 19 inches, something like that. Can't remember exactly, but we had a huge plate of pizza. Absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed it. And the story there is the man who came round doing the balloon animals, which you've forgotten about.
I had.
And we had a dodgy guy who came round to a different restaurant the night before doing balloon animals.
I know what it was. It was Tortilla Joe's.
And yeah, it was in Tortilla Joe's. And he said, "What would you like?" And I thought, he said, "Do you have anything you want?" So right, make us a space shuttle. And he said, "I can make you a duck." So we made a duck, and that's what he did. All right, fair enough. And then the next night we were in Naples, and another balloon guy came round. He said, "I'll make anything you want. What do you want?" I said, "Can you make us a space shuttle, please?" And he did. He made a space shuttle, and it was phenomenal.
He also made a Tinkerbell for Isabel, which she was more impressed with.
But he did it in about 19 seconds.
He just
really
went
good. So balloon modelling animals and excellent Italian food. What's not to like?
Indeed.
Number 2, please, sweetheart.
I might be able to get away with my next 2, so you might want me to change. I class these as downtown Disney because when I'm in downtown Disney, I go to my next 2 places. But they are within Disney hotels, but the Disney hotels are in downtown Disney, so...
I can't argue because I didn't think to put them in.
So my second is Trader Sam's. I'm looking at Enchanted Tiki Bar. What can I say? We are recent in the last 2 or 3 years to this experience, and again,
we never knew about it, did
we? To the Diz Unplugged for this one.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Because we didn't know about it. We had no need. We've been to Goofy's Kitchen quite a few times in Disneyland Hotel.
Sadly.
We had not ventured that far. We heard about it. I wanted to go. I told you. You then heard about it. Went, oh, let's go. Super, super, super. We've been go inside, and you've got the volcanoes going off when people order a certain drink. And you've got all this theatre going on behind you in special windows. You've got great drinks, great atmosphere. It's a little bit like the Tiki Bar, but you've got alcohol and food. And like I say, you get a show. It's an attraction whilst having a drink.
Booze, food and volcanoes.
Nicely aircon. It's quite dark when you go inside, so if you're going in the daytime, it's kind of like you're suddenly in the dark. And then when you go back outside, it's daytime. Now, they only let children in. We went with some friends of ours that are locals in California, and it was, I can't remember the time, but it was like a switch over from day to evening, and Isabel then wasn't allowed in, and we sat outside. But then I had an equally wonderful time, because they had musicians on, and we played Hawaiian music.
Yeah, great.
And you've got the torches with the flames on. Oh, love it. Really love it there, and I can't wait for Christmas because I believe they change it all inside, so the erupting volcano and everything else going on in there has a Christmas theme. Can't wait for that one.
Can't wait myself too. Should be wonderful. So for me, my number 2 is Tortilla Joe's. It's cheap, it's reliable, it's freezing cold in the daytime. They do huge buckets of beer. They do great food. They do massive things of tortillas, salsa. It's not brilliant. It's good Mexican food, but when you've been in Disneyland all morning, from say 8 till 12 o'clock, and it's starting to really heat up, you're in the middle of August, you think, hungry, what should we do? Tortilla Joe's. And you walk out of Disneyland, you've got a 5-minute walk into downtown Disney, you're in, it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
We might talk and mention air conditioning quite a bit. Because, believe it or not, we don't have a lot of air conditioning.
We don't.
Almost every car on the road's air conditioned.
That's about
pretty
it.
much.
Yeah.
But houses and restaurants and buildings don't have air conditioning because we don't need it.
No.
But you really notice it, for us obviously, when you step out and it's 90 degrees. So you might hear us mentioning air conditioning. Whereas, Americans wouldn't normally. We will, because we do notice it. But Tortilla Joe's, 12 degrees inside, fantastic, nice and cool, good food, good beer, cheap, lovely. Rock and roll.
Great. My number 1, so this is why we said we will do another one that is based purely on fine dining and quality of food.
Not in downtown Disney.
It is.
That's not in downtown Disney.
It is. When I'm in downtown Disney.
It's not in downtown Disney.
Yes, it is. It's nearer to downtown Disney than my other one, my Trader Sam's.
Well, there is that.
So, I nearly had this in Grand California. Sorry, I keep saying Grand California. I nearly had this for my California Adventure one. When we're in California Adventure and it gets a bit hot, here we go again. We need some air conditioning.
It's a cultural thing, man.
Hot foot it out of the park.
No pun intended.
And the way we hot foot it out of, this is our top tip, is into the Grand California Hotel. At speed, racing into let me pronounce it correctly, the Halfstone Lounge in the Grand California Adventure, and we found this little treasure quite some time ago.
Hang on, the Grand California Adventure. Now you've put in the
Grand California Hotel.
Grand California Hotel.
We found that
American
treasure.
Adventure. No, American Adventure.
Quite some time ago.
DCA.
We were so hot, we were so tired, we were so hungry, and we needed aircon, and we just ventured into there and fell upon the lounge in the hotel, and we have our own seat. We won't go in unless we sit on the comfy couch.
We have to sit on the couch.
We sit in the same place every time, and I've been doing since that hotel opened. Apart from one time we were there on a date because Isabel was with some friends of ours. She was going having a great time, and we went and sat at the bar, which was cool. We met some interesting people. We love the 2 big comfy couches. We always sit there. If that wasn't available, we'd have to go away and come back. I love the cheese plate with the wine. Have a nice glass of Chardonnay.
That white cheese with the green marble.
They're brilliant because I only ask, can we have some extra bread or the toast that they do, and they're really kind and they bring that over. And we've had pizzas there. We've had nachos there.
The last time we were there, do you remember the lady we met?
Yes, I do.
Her husband worked at Disneyland for the opening day.
Yeah.
And she,
I
suppose there are a lot of, and we've met quite a few, there are a lot of characters in Disneyland who have stories to tell which are amazing of the history of the parks. We met one of the guys who, it was his last day, not last year, the year before when we went, who was on the monorail. And he brought with him his album of photographs of him.
Amazing.
The photographs of him with Walt, the photographs with him with different characters through the years. And there are always people that you meet, and it's one of the great things about going to Disneyland is that you meet people who have a love for the park, and we want to be in that situation once. In years to come, we can say, we can tell you this story, we can tell you this story, we can tell you this story, and bring people into the whole ethos of what Disney's all about. But in this instance, we met a lady.
Oh, it's very fascinating.
Whose husband had been in Disneyland all
She
his life.
talked a lot. She'd worked there for some of it, hadn't she? She
Yes.
talked about the fact that in Walt's time, you wouldn't be allowed to leave the park in any of your
Yeah, that
uniforms.
was. I've forgotten that.
And she
was
was
a big
really
thing.
strong about that. She said, I can't believe it. You see them at the bus stop, you see them walking out, and they're
Yeah,
all
there
in,
are cast members
in cast
all
members
over Anaheim, not in Walt's
costume.
time.
And she said that wouldn't be allowed.
Now we don't know this for a fact. We're
No.
taking her word for it.
Yeah,
but
and it was
but it
interesting.
does seem.
A
It
Walt
does
thing
make
to do.
sense. Yeah.
And she told us lots of other little nuggets, and it was quite fascinating to hear, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And about Walt and his children and other people that worked at Disney at different times. It was fascinating. But no, I love it in there. I love you've got the pianist playing, he's playing music. The bar staff are always really friendly. The service for us has always been quick. To be fair, it's an oasis of calm.
It is certainly an
And
oasis
that's
of calm,
why
yes.
we like it. And we come to it from the park, but equally, if we're in downtown Disney, we will go in, we'll go and get a drink, go in and get an appetizer. Prior to, if we've had dinner somewhere else, we'll call back in there. So that's why I said this is about experiences and places, because that's got to be my number one. If I was purely rating it on high fine dining, then I would have picked that lounge bar.
But what you can equally do, and this is cheeky tip, you can if you get a taxi to the Grand California Hotel. Excuse me. You can then go into the bar there, but you can also go straight into the park.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to get a taxi to the Grand California if
Yeah.
you're going to California Adventure than it is to get a taxi to anywhere else. You just say, yeah, I've got restaurant reservations,
Yeah.
or I'm meeting friends, or we're going
If
for
you're
lunch, we're going
dining
for
in
dinner,
the place at breakfast or for any meals as well, you can get into the park that way. And I think the other thing I like is often, well not often, but quite a lot, we've gone back out that way and it's easier to get a taxi home
get a taxi
because they
back.
can get you a taxi for the
What
fund.
you can't do is get in when the park opens, though, unless you have restaurant reservations.
Yeah.
You must have
They
had a
changed
restaurant
that, didn't they?
reservation
Yeah.
to get.
It didn't used to be
go-
like
no,
that,
it didn't used to be.
but
It
they
is
changed
now.
it.
But middle of the day, no one really cares.
Not
So
at all.
You can come and go to
So
your place.
your
So
number one?
my number one is Catal. Just for the sheer quality of the food, it's absolutely brilliant. I think on Disney property,
Yeah.
Catal does the best food I've had, with the exception of a certain club with a number attached to it, which we'll do a different podcast about. But Catal, yeah, just fresh ingredients, brilliant food, gloriously well cooked, absolutely top, really good stuff. And that's like, without going and having a meal and reviewing each individual thing and the wine pairings, the bits and pieces, it's tricky to give a more comprehensive
And I'm just
review.
thinking, another
It's just
review
great.
you would do is if we actually name certain dishes from places and describe them as what we would recommend, that could be another
Well,
good one to do.
sweetie, I suspect we might do a video or two over Christmas, which is when we'll next be there, and
Yeah.
when we get to see Mr. Mouse and all his friends. So
Okay.
from now until then, we'll have some more podcasts to do, different bits and pieces.
Of course.
But until we see you again, we will say, as the Queen Mum says, tinkety tom cold fruit and down with the Nazis. Bye bye.
Bye.